Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Idea Gen Global Podcast with George Sefakis.
I'm George Sefakis. In a world overflowing with noise, there is one forum where the world's smartest voices connect, where visionaries sit at the same table as innovators, and great minds don't just talk, they act.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, a.k.a. Snerdley, who is not hearing a thing, by the way. So there's that. But welcome to the It's Already Friday edition of the Bo Snerdley Show. I have, ladies and gentlemen, there's lots of serious stuff to discuss. As you know, we just played the soundbite from the president of the Brown University president, which I was stunned. No cameras in the school. So that's interesting. But I have a question for all of you, every single one of you, guys, because I'm surrounded by guys today. Let me describe this picture. I see on social media a beautiful, younger, and I'm not saying it in a Joe Biden way or, heaven forbid, a Jeffrey Epstein way, beautiful young lady, little mocha baby, long hair, PJ sitting on the floor, and she raises a question. And here is the question that she raises. She says, it's a beautiful young lady, women deal with periods, pregnancy, and menopause. And then she asked her question, what do men deal with? What do men deal with, Kevin?
Can you hear me, first of all? All right. Now you can hear me. War, I think. Right? War. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'll give you a war. It's a pretty big one, right? They go to war.
Okay. Fine. Women deal with periods, pregnancy, and menopause. What do men deal with? Phil, what do men deal with?
So women, they deal with, would you say, pregnancy, periods, and menopause. Men have to deal with women who have pregnancy, menopause, and periods.
TJ, what do women deal with periods, pregnancy, and menopause? What do men deal with?
Almost all the undesirable occupations.
Almost undesirable occupations in the world. Now, I will tell you my answer. Phil got it. That was my answer. My answer was women. That's what men have to deal with. Women. And so, I'd love to know your answers to that question, ladies and gentlemen. What do men have to deal with? A lot. Women. A few things that we'll have on the table for the It's Already Friday show, fastest hour in American media, Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. I laughed myself silly yesterday and I did. Every time I saw the headline, I laughed. When the board of directors over at the Kennedy Center said, we're going to rename this joint. We're going to rename it the Trump Kennedy Center, the Donald J. Trump Kennedy Center. I laughed myself silly. New York Times had a cow over it. Their sub-headline was almost the story itself. It was pretty much, he can't do this. This is a direct violation of the law. Congress gets to name it. Not that man. I said, okay, fine. I thought it was just trolling. It was going to be a day. Mr. Mike Mamone has weighed in as well. Most famous broadcast engineer in the entire world. Bingo. He says men deal with women. He's married. Wonder if he's going to let his wife hear that segment tonight. Yes. Anyway, I laughed myself silly. They over the cow. I said, okay, that's that. We had a good laugh. Today, the laughter almost hit me up to the point where I was rolling on the floor. Not only did they started they put up the name over the facade. They did it. They just put Donald J. Trump's name above Kennedy's. So it's the Donald J. Trump. They just renamed it. They just put his name on it. The Donald. President Trump's name was added to the facade of the JFK Memorial Center for the Performing Arts in Washington. And they put his name above the Donald J. Trump Kennedy Memorial Center. And it's predictable. New York Times. I'm sorry, folks. I just find this hysterical. The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts was built as a living memorial. Not just a memorial. It's alive. It's a living memorial to the 35th president. And it's been generally understood that the power to change its name lies with Congress, which has not acted. Maria Shriver posted yesterday. She had a very angry post about it all on social media. And Rick Grinnell responded to that today. He said, after news broke, let me just read the story. We carried a daily BS. After news broke that the Kennedy Center would be renamed to include President Donald Trump, the left erupted in predictable outrage. Social media lit up with outrage posts, dramatic comparison, and cries of indecency. But amid the noise, one inconvenient kept surfacing. The Kennedy Center was falling apart, and no one complaining lifted a finger to stop it. As president of the Kennedy Center, Rick Grinnell just talked about how much it was in disrepair. Leaky ceilings, unsafe balconies, empty cafeterias, vending machines, where a world-class art center should have hospitality worthy of its name. Instead, it was just filled with a bunch of junk food, cheap junk food, et cetera, et cetera. So, Maria Shriver, it's beyond wild that he would think adding his name in front of Kennedy's name, President Kennedy's name, is acceptable. It is not. Shriver went on to warn of a slippery slope. I guess she's saying the next Donald Trump is going to probably add its name to the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson, the Smithsonian, even JFK Airport. She called his naming the center weird, obsessive, and beneath the stature of the job. What she didn't mention, according to Grinnell, where were you? Where were all the Kennedys when the building was falling apart? Now you're interested. I'll tell you what we'll do, folks. We're going to take a quick break here.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's not even cool. Like, why they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
Hannah Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like. Soda, candy, prepackaged sweets, prepared desserts, and juice with less than half of natural fruit or vegetable juice in it will not be allowed to be purchased on SNAP cards.
I don't know what Trump is doing. I don't know what's going on.
There is some breaking news here, and I'm going to tell you up front, I don't get this. Something happened that is inexplicable for now. We'll probably find out within a number of days. The headline is starting to appear everywhere. Elise Stefanik has dropped out of the New York State governor's race and has announced that she is leaving Congress at the end of this term. She will not seek another House term. Representative Elise Stefanik, conservative Republican, close ties to Trump, says she's suspending her campaign for governor, giving up her House seat next year. In her statement, she said, while spending precious time with my family this Christmas season, I've made the decision to suspend my campaign for governor and will not seek re-election to Congress. I did not come to this decision lightly for our family. The decision was a stunning turn in fortune for one of the Republicans' biggest stars, upending one of the nation's top governor's races. She's 41 years old, youngest woman to serve the House in history when she was elected when she was 31 years old. She has transformed herself, according to the New York Times, from a moderate Republican into a full MAGA warrior, shot up through the House leadership ranks, nearly ambassador for the UN. Widely viewed as the front runner. Something weird is there. Something weird. You know, she had that big dust-up with Mike Johnson a few weeks back. And it was an ugly kind of dust-up that left people kind of shaking their heads, something that could have been worked out behind closed doors. Something is definitely... okay, Princess Di's weighed in. I think she's still mad she had to withdraw from the UN post. Do you think so? I don't know. Princess Di, I don't know about... something's weird. Totally weird about all of this. I'm very disappointed. You know, just the other day, Kathy Hochul, the culture of death Democrats, decided that they wanted to okay euthanasia in New York State. So now if you want to kill yourself, you know, have at it. It's called dignity. That's what Republicans call that. Suicide. I guess that goes along with that theme from MASH. What was that? What were the lyrics to that? Do you remember? Suicide is painless.
Suicide is painless, yeah. But the funny thing about that song, not to jump in here, the title has nothing to do with the lyrics. The lyrics were written, I think, after. There's no correlation with the lyrics of that song because it was instrumental that they put on the instrumental. And the title of it is harrowing, in my opinion.
Yes.
Suicide is painless. It's a great, great theme.
I love that theme. I think it's one of the best theme songs. Was it Mandel that wrote that? I think Johnny Mandel may have written that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's a great, great song. But, that's New York. That's what this should be their motto. Suicide is just whatever. Painless. Anyway. I'm welcome. You know what? Maybe tomorrow there'll be more information on this Elise Stefanik thing. This is just really stunning news. So I don't even know what to make of it. I think it's horrible news. I think she could have easily won with the right campaign. She could have easily won. Justice prevailed in Wisconsin, which is shocking. We have the early news report of the case. Flashback to the early news reports of the case when it was first announced. Cut to Kev, from television station WISN at the time.
For the first time, we're seeing Judge Hannah Dugan outside her courtroom April 18th wearing her black robes, appearing to confront several federal agents there to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz, a Milwaukee man and Mexican national charged locally with 3 counts of domestic battery. This video, released by Milwaukee County through an open records request, is part of the evidence in the case against Judge Dugan, who's charged with obstructing a federal investigation, concealing Flores-Ruiz, allowing him to leave her courtroom by a different door after sending the agents to speak to the chief judge. Flores-Ruiz, dressed in black with his attorney, is seen in several of the videos leaving by that other door. One prosecutors say was used by jurors and not open to the public. As he leaves, though, he is seen in the hallway followed
the bottom
by another agent. As Flores-Ruiz gets into the elevator to leave, the agent slips in as well. According to the criminal complaint against Dugan, that agent followed them down. The agent seen here following out of the building downstairs, and once backup arrived, they tried to arrest Flores-Ruiz, who another video shows ran north in front of the courthouse for nearly a block before agents caught up with him and arrested him. Federal agents arrested Dugan herself a week later.
Eduardo Flores-Ruiz's domestic violence case is moving through the Milwaukee County Court. He is, however, in federal custody on his immigration arrest. The FBI arrested Judge Dugan at the county courthouse 1 week later on April 25th. She pleaded not guilty in a federal court last week.
Judge Dugan, your response.
That's Dugan exiting the federal courthouse after an arraignment last week. Her legal team filed a motion to dismiss the case, calling it unconstitutional and saying that she is entitled to judicial immunity. A judge set a tentative trial date for July 21st.
Yeah, well, guess what? She didn't get immunity. She got drugged in front of a jury, and the jury found her guilty as charged. They let her off on one misdemeanor, but anyway, Judge Dugan now facing 5 years in the slammer. And when she was arrested, Democrats, of course, protested. It was an attack on democratic values. 5 years she's facing. We'll be back. Do not go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So listen, there might be a chance to get you in if you waited until the very last minute. Maybe you can check tomorrow, Home for the Holidays, with Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, live from Studio 77 in the heart of winter wonderland, New York City. Get ready to slay your night away with live performances, ugly sweaters, jolly friends, Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, singing your holiday favorites live in concert. December 20th, that is tomorrow, at WABC Studios. For more information, you know, you might have some folks in town already hanging out with you. What a way to spend it. Go to homefortheholidays2025.com. Mr. Christmas, Vinny Madunio, live in concert. From WABC headquarters in Studio 77, homefortheholidays2025.com is how you do it. And while you're at your computer, make one other stop, too. One more. That's because you can join us all at Red Apple Audio Networks, AARP New York, the Police Athletic League, Gristedes, D'Agostino's Supermarkets, and Nationwide Imaging Services, delivering holiday meals to more than 5,000 families across the greater New York area. Go to redappleaudionetworks.com/turkey. This holiday season, help the Red Apple Audio Networks feed people, families in need of some holiday cheer. Your donation helps put a meal on the table for a family. You can help uplift, bring uplift, hope, a nice meal to a family. That's redappleaudionetworks.com/turkey, redappleaudionetworks.com/turkey. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, holiday season rapidly approaching, but that doesn't mean I have it at the back of the stack. The Epstein. They never get tired of this Epstein stuff. It's again the day, the DOJ, this was the day that they were supposed to release all the Epstein files. Guess what? They didn't release all the Epstein files. They're not releasing all of them just yet. The DOJ saying, look, we're releasing hundreds of thousands of files. We still got to go through some hundreds of thousands of stuff. We're releasing a bunch today. We'll release some next week. We'll release some whatever. And of course, liberals are having, their panties are up in a wad. And they're looking at all their legal options. Some of them, believe it or not, are even talking about another government shutdown if they come back in January and all of the files are not released by then. And of course, you've seen all those pictures. Somebody did a novelty thing of the Trump condom that's really huge. And that was all pictures. House Democrat released pictures of Trump condom. Who knows whether Trump, of course, I doubt whether he even saw the thing before it had anything to do with it. At all. But that's the Democrats. The scandals in Minnesota, we'll get to that in a few minutes. This is travel week. I got a story. I sent a story for Lizzie for tomorrow. Let's see if Lizzie does it tomorrow. American Airlines apparently, and I did not know that Delta did this because I didn't even look. American Airlines has joined Delta. If apparently you buy the cheap seats, you don't get miles anymore. You know how they have their miles program? Well, they're not giving miles. And the story that I read, I think it was Daily Mail, said they're following Delta in this. Delta stopped giving miles if you buy the cheap seats, the basic economy seats. And now American Airlines is not giving miles if you buy their cheap economy seats. And I wonder what people think about that. Also, Evita. Don't say for me. Evita Duffy Alfonso. Do you know who she is? You ever heard of? I'll tell you who she is. Evita Duffy Alfonso is the daughter of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who is doing a bang-up job, I must say. Maybe you shouldn't say bang-up for the Transportation Secretary, after all, has bad connotations, but he's doing a splendid, outstanding piece of work there at Transportation. Anyway, she had a meltdown. Now, I don't know whether she's a privileged DQ or not. I don't know. And maybe, you know that thing we started the show with? Women deal with periods, pregnancy, and menopause. What do men deal with? Well, Evita Duffy is going through one of those. She said she is now calling for the TSA to be totally abolished. The Transportation Secretary's daughter, after she had to endure an absurdly invasive pat-down. I wonder what that means exactly. I wonder what they patted down on her that was invasive. TSA equals unreasonable, warrantless searches of passengers and their property, she wrote. It means it violates the Fourth Amendment and is therefore unconstitutional. Please abolish. She tagged President Donald Trump, the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. In another post, she said, I nearly missed my flight this morning after the TSA made me wait 15 minutes for a pat-down because I'm pregnant and I didn't feel like getting radiation exposure from their body scanner. The agents were passive-aggressive, rude, and tried to pressure me and another pregnant woman into just walking through the scanner because it's safe. After finally getting the absurdly invasive pat-down, I barely made my flight. All this for an unconstitutional agency that isn't even good as its job. Didn't Nancy Mace have a meltdown at the airport a few weeks ago? DQ. She did. So I don't even know what to think of this. I mean, the woman's pregnant. I do not blame her for not wanting to go through a radiation scanner. And I don't care what somebody tells you is safe. I think people have a right to say, you know what? No, I'd rather be patted down. And that's what they do. If you tell them you don't want to go through that, they'll pat you down. You might have to wait a few minutes. Oh, and then she made some snide remark about, well, I'm sorry, shouldn't characterize it as snide. She said something, this is what she said. Just the rest of it. Perhaps things would have gone more smoothly if I had handed over my biometric data to a random private company. She's talking about Clear. Then I can enjoy the special privilege of waiting in a shorter line to be treated like a terrorist in my own country. Is this freedom? Boy, it sounds like this woman is having a freaking meltdown. Is this freedom? Travel, brought to you by George Orwell, and the privilege of convenience based solely on your willingness to surrender biometric data and submit to radiation exposure? The golden age of transportation cannot begin until the TSA is gone.
Have you ever been approached to do the Clear thing, though?
Hell yeah.
Like, they almost, like, dupe you. Like, the line at JFK was so long, or LaGuardia the other day, and they're going to me, they go, oh, you want to skip the line? I'm like, sure. And they're like, you just stand in front of this thing. We take your picture. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, and then we charge you $40. And I'm like, no. And then they're like, but if you want to go to Yankee Stadium and you want to use a ticket, they'll just use your face. And I'm like, absolutely not. You didn't, like, I thought this was like a TSA thing. You're selling this to other corporations. Like, I don't need to be, at Madison Square Garden using my face to buy a Coke. It's insane.
Well, let me just say, Kevin, I hear you, but let me just say this about that. I have been a Clear member since they damn near started Clear. I was mad because the first time I started Clear, something happened and I couldn't get it done. And I was ticked off. I was like, what? I need to get this done. So I got it done. And let me tell you something. I love Clear. I love it. Now, the only bad thing about Clear is that too many people are starting to get in it. So now they have longer lines. Like if you go to Hartsfield Airport and you're waiting in the Clear line, it's long, but at least it moves fast. And then I love that look that people have when they're standing on line and when you walk up with your Clear thing and they walk you to the front of the line and they let you through and then you look back at the line and people are looking at you, calling you names. I'm like, well,
that's like
pay money. Pay money.
It's a monthly
thing. You can do this
right?
too.
A monthly charge they pay you?
No, yeah, they charge you annually.
Oh, okay. I mean,
and listen, it ain't cheap, but it's not overly crazy expensive. But you know what? It's wonderful. Especially, like I said, when you see those, when there's some incident and the TSA line is like going out the door and then you walk through Clear. And you look back and you see all those angry people, and they are angry, and they are mad, and you say, all you had to do was just spend a little bit of money. That money that you're going to spend down there at that fast food place that charges too much at the airport for whatever it is that you're buying, you could have used that money and bought yourself a Clear. I sound like I'm doing a commercial for them suckers, and I don't want to do that. We should go after them and see whether they'll advertise on this program. We should alert somebody in sales. Please go after Clear and tell them that they have a great spokesman right here. We should do that. I like Clear. I love Clear. I especially love it. And that moment that you walk up and because you could just tell somebody has been online for an hour. Because they've had to go back to the ticket agent and they've had to do, yes, and Nursey Nurse just checked in too. Nursey Nurse said, by the way, she agrees with Miss Duffy Alfonso. Pregnant woman should not have to be radiated. Good for her. Nursey Nurse, I don't have any problem with that, but don't sit up and complain like a mad woman. I almost missed my flight. What's the first thing they tell you when you're going to get a flight? Kevin, let me see if you know this. How long are you supposed to be at the airport before your flight leaves?
I think it's 2 hours for domestic and 3 for international travel. Right?
Now, that's the outside one. If you're at a slow airport, at least be there an hour before, at least an hour 15, an hour 30 minutes, because anything could happen. But you're right. When you have a flight somewhere, you're supposed to get there 2 hours early, because that takes allowance that you might get a long line, something. And if you're on if you're an international flight, 3 hours is cutting it close. So yeah, hello, act like you're the daughter of the transportation secretary. I know you're pregnant, and I know your hormones jumping, baby. I got you. I feel you. Well, I didn't feel you. Somebody at TSA felt you, and you didn't like it. But, because invasive, what did they feel on this woman? I mean, she's pregnant. I mean, I know, look, don't get mad at me because I'm just speaking truth. Let's face facts. At a certain point in women's pregnancy, they look like goddesses. They do. They look like, you just want to just, can I touch you? Just hold you, not in a sexual way, just a loving way, because you look so beautiful when you're pregnant. You're just a beauty of God's creation. And men love to see a woman. How did they touch this woman that she's so offended? That's my question. Anyway. I agree with that one. I've had too many pat downs. Heck, no with clear. But soon it won't even matter because facial recognition is everywhere. Ban body area networks. Hey, that genie's not going back in the bottle. It's here to stay. So learn to live with it. And if our sales department comes through, I'll be happy to talk about clear and more clear experiences with you in the future.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. James Golden Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You know, I meant to get to Mondami today. Eric Adams tried to screw him on the way out, and I just love it. He appointed 4 of his cronies to the rent board to try to put a damper on what Mondami wants to do to hose New York landlords and drive them out of business. And also one of his top appointees, the one that was supposed to screen other appointees, had to quit after her anti-Semitic tweets surfaced. Congratulations to my dear friend Tammy Bruce, who has been confirmed as the next deputy ambassador for the United Nations. Leaving you today with Maurice. It's the heavenly birthday of the one, the only Maurice White. Singer, songwriter, musician, producer, arranger, band leader for Earth, Wind, and Fire, and so many other groups. He passed away in 2016. The music will live on. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, families and loved ones. Love and gratitude to you folks. Hopefully you'll be with me tomorrow morning. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder,
what the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.